Perched on the shores of Carlingford Loch and lying at the southern foot of the Mournes Mountains lies a most picturesque village. Welcome to Rostrevor. Our story begins in the lands of the Lords of Ivy, the McGuinness clan, who once built a huge castle here in a place called Castle Row. Rose Whitechurch married Edward Trevor, gallant military officer, in the 17th century, and their union is said to have granted the village its name, Rostrevor. Another notable resident of Rostrevor was British Army officer Major General Robert Ross. He was born in the village in 1766. Proving his military prowess in the Napoleonic Wars, in 1814, during the American War of Independence, Ross led the English troops to the victory at the Battle of Bladensburg against the American militia. He and his troops would sack Washington, set fire to the White House and public buildings. He would meet his demise in the battle for Baltimore and inspire the Star-Spangled Banner, national anthem of the USA. He would be laid to rest in Halifax, Nova Scotia, but this giant obelisk, which would be erected in his memory in his town of birth. The Americans, so frustrated with anger, had actually set plans to burn Rostrevor to the ground in revenge. The town is beautifully situated in a cove of Carlingford Loch at the western termination of the Mournes Mountains and contains 185 houses which are large and handsomely built. The streets are wide and open, and the whole town has a cheerful and attractive appearance. We start our journey at the top of the village, presented here by St. Mary's Star of the Sea Chapel, dating around the 1840s. The air is salubrious, and the town is very desirable as a residence from its fine situation on a gentle eminence, sheltered by mountains on the north, south and east, and open on the west to Carlingford Bay, the shores of which are richly planted and embellished with numerous gentlemen's seats, handsome villas, and picturesque cottages. Every tourist who has seen the placid, restful little town echoes the words so often used, beautiful Rostrevor. Every guidebook repeats the same and adds, the sweetest little village under the sun. Words are but a poor medium to express the loveliness of all the surroundings. The wide waters of the bay, with the purple-topped mountains of Carniford in the distance, and the rugged slopes of the Mournes mountains on the landward side. In the 19th century, Rostrevor became a popular seaside resort. Mercers Norton and Shaw, who operated a horse and carriage transport business from the nearby railhead at Warren Point, commissioned a Newry architect, William James Watson, to design for them a new hotel. The opening in 1871 Great Northern Hotel, that fell under the ownership of the Hastings hotels, became a popular destination for gentlemen. Sadly, in 1978, the hotel was firebombed by the IRA during their terror campaign, and it had to be demolished. The massive castle, once the stronghold of Rory McGuinness, one of the Lords of Ivy, stood near the centre of the town, but now sadly there is not a solitary vestige of the ancient castle left. The silver waters of the river gleaming through the trees, the beautiful old houses with their grassy lawns, and the trees that have stood for hundreds of years, all go to create a picture that lives long in the memory. With Water Street on the left of the Kilbroney River and the Furry Glen on the right and Kilbroney Forest just beyond, the tranquil beauty is both restful and sublime. Kilbroney Park was a former estate and home of the Ross family. Now a public forest park, it has riverside walks, a 2-mile forest drive and a arboretum of specimen trees. Families can enjoy the play park, tennis courts, picnic area and cafe. It's also the home of the Narnia Trail, as the area inspired C.S. Lewis with his classic Tales of Narnia. On part of the Kilbroney Park estate, visitors can make a short drive or climb up to the Clockmore Stone from the car park. The views are mighty. This massive 50-ton erratic sits on the hillside, 1,000 feet above Rostrevor. The park also hosts the famous MTB mountain bike trail. With a mouth-watering red trail and a hair-raising black trail, Rostrevor is believed by many to be the top spot for mountain biking in the whole of Ireland. St. Paul's Church was built in 1733. It contains the Ross Cross, designed and sculpted by the Honourable Harriet Ross of Rostrevor. Many of the Ross family and the old village members are laid to rest here. Tales have been told of a bell that was hung between two trees that helped sound the alarm for storms for sailors, but the forest became overgrown and the bell was forgotten. On one stormy night the tree fell, revealing the old bell of St. Bronagh. It was restored and now on view at St. Mary's Chapel at the top of the village. In 1944, elements of the 2nd Infantry Regiment, 5th Division of the US Army were based at Rostrevor House, which had Ross of Bladensburg arms on the ceiling of the dining room. It included an arm grasping a broken US flag in the memory of his victory via the Americans at the Battle of Bladensburg in 1814. It is said some of the top officers and the top brass would stay in the Great Northern Hotel. Headmaster Thomas Dunn, a United Irishman, taught Catholic and Presbyterian children together. He also read to young and old alike the writings of Tom Paine, Wolfe Tone, and from the radical newspaper, the Northern Star. However, after the failed attempt of the French forced landing at Bantry Bay in 1796, the English government was determined to stamp out revolutionary fervour on the island. And so in 1797, Dunn's barn was raided. When the 62-year-old Thomas refused to reveal the names of his fellow United Irishmen, he was flogged. Thomas Dunn would suffer 260 lashes of the whip before he died. He never disclosed any names. Thomas is buried in the local cemetery of Kilbroney, a brave man, a patriot, a true hero for all who believe in the gift from God of freedom. Rostrevor, with its rich history, stunning landscapes, and welcoming community, is a destination that promises unforgettable memories. So whether you're seeking adventure, relaxation, or a bit of both, this charming village has something for everyone. than day.